If you are a step van owner operator, you want to watch this show because I'll be sharing with you a few step van owner operator hacks for success. How do you actually how do you increase your income? How do you increase your revenue? How do you find more loads? How do you do things more professionally? So first thing first, I want to go back to the definition of owner operator. When we talk about a step van owner operator, who is this person? So a step van owner operator, also known as a step van owner operator or van driver, is really a van driver who leases or owns their own step van. And owner operators are responsible for all aspects of their business, including finding their own loads, arranging their own financing, and maintaining their step van. Okay, so if you want to be successful in the long run, you have to understand that as an owner operator, you have a responsibility to actually maintain your own operation. You are on your own. So you are actually handling loads on behalf of clients, and the clients are paying you, but you are running your own show. This is really important, okay? So I just wanted to have a clear idea about the basic definition of a step van owner operator. Now let me give you our tips and hacks if you want to become a successful owner operator driving a step van. First of all, you need to get your commercial driver's license. I know you don't need to have a CDL to actually haul loads for clients, but if you are going to start having you want to do cross-state or interstate driving, or let's say you want to haul hazmat loads or some kind of sensitive loads, you might need to have a CDL. This is federal regulation. This is not, national. This is not like a state regulation. So you don't need a CDL, but at some point when you start, you don't need a CDL. But if you've been in business for a while, it's important for you at some point to think about how to actually increase your success rates, how to increase revenue, and taking and passing a CDL, it's kind of cool. Okay, so think of having a CDL as a long-term investment into your step van owner operator business. This will help you a lot. It will open up new opportunities for you. A lot of clients will come to you. You'll have local shippers who trust you. You can still drive the step van, but having a CDL will add more like an extra layer of credibility. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here to have a quick conversation with you about step van owner operators and how do you actually succeed in the long run. The second thing I want you to do here is to form a business. So if you have a step van and you are an owner operator, you probably right now you are a solopreneur, right? You are maybe a sole proprietorship. It's important at some point to formalize things. So basically you want to contact your state authorities to actually file paperwork to become maybe an LLC, an S corporation, a C corporation, or an LLP, whatever. But you got to be a business. And the reason why you want to be a business is that if you want to actually do business in the long run as a step van owner operator, sometimes they might ask you for an EIN, some partnerships. So you don't need to have a legit business to have an EIN, but it really helps. Also, having an EIN can help you apply for business loans for your step van, so you can actually expand. You can maybe renew your van, or you can repair your van, whatever. So this is important. And in some cases, for some step van business insurance application, they also will ask you your EIN. So think of an EIN as your company's social security number. But I want to go back to my earlier point. It's important to form a business. We're talking about forming a legit business so that you are good to go. It's important to think about that in the long run. And also you want to cover your ass. Something were to happen, you want to divorce your business from yourself. So you want to divorce your personal assets from your business assets, so that if something were to happen to your step van or your step van business, as an owner operator, you're safe, because no creditor, no lawsuit will come after your personal assets. It's important. So we're talking here about the long run. We're not speaking about the short term. Short term, you can make money. Short term, you don't need to have a business. Okay, short term, you can get away with it. But if you want to survive as a step van owner operator in the long run, especially once you start expanding, once you start scaling, once you start like hiring other drivers to work for you, once you start having a fleet of step vans, you are going to need to have a business. And I'm talking about a legit business, because you are going to have to need a business bank account. You can't really continue to actually play with your personal account anymore. No, you're going to have a legit business account. So this is really important. By the way, boss, let me quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about step van owner-operator hacks for success, and we're sharing everything with you today. The third thing you want to do here is to file a US dot number. So when we talk about filing a US dot number, we're talking about, first of all, you don't need a US dot number if you are just a regular driver, like a regular step van driver. You're doing your owner-operator thing, and you are driving locally. You do not need a US dot number. I want to insist on that. Don't go and tell people that I said you need a dot. No, you don't need a US dot number. You only need a US dot number when you start actually doing interstate, like start doing cross-state. You start hauling loads for clients, and you're actually crossing state lines. Then you will need to have authority. Okay, because the thing is that you are going to be placed under the jurisdiction of the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, the FMCSA. So you got to have your US dot number. So think again, similar to having a CDL. Again, those things are not needed. But when we talk about being in this business for a while, if you want to run this business properly and make this business be your only opportunity to become rich, because you can become rich in this business if you do things properly. And doing things properly means that you are investing in the future. We're talking about now. You are starting now, but you are investing in the future. So trying to file for a US dot number, okay? And this is important. And so when we talk about filing for a US dot number, we're talking about getting your authority. So you're not getting your trucking authority, but you're getting your step van authority. And this is totally possible because if you are going to haul certain loads, as I said before, you have hazmat, hazardous materials. You have, if you are hauling certain things that are sensitive, there are some substances that are sensitive at the federal level, and the federal government is really paying attention to all those substances. So if you haul in those substances, anything that has to do with the industrial, heavy industrial, if you are doing loads for the oil and gas industry, you're doing loads for certain military facilities, you are going to be placed under the jurisdiction of the federal authorities, and they want you to have they will want you to have some kind of authority at that point. So this is really important to think about that. Again, we're having a conversation about the long run here. It's not just about having making money in the short. The next thing I want you to do, you need to purchase step van insurance. If you don't have insurance already, you got to think about it. Again, we're having a conversation about the long run here. Now, when we talk about insurance, we're just talking about you covering your ass. You are trying to see, as a step van owner operator, do not see. I know you probably listen to me right now. You have insurance. Yes, because you got to have insurance to actually drive your step van. But do you have the right level of insurance? Are you legally insured? Why? Because see, if you are going to enter into partnerships with the likes of Amazon, FedEx, UPS, and you're going to haul for them, they have insurance requirements, and those insurance requirements are not going to change. Sometimes they ask you to have $1 million in insurance, and the question is, are you properly covered? Boss, talk to me about that. Are you properly covered? So when we talk about purchasing step van insurance, we're talking about you making sure that you don't purchase insurance on your own. No, what you want to do is, I want you to really write down the steps. You want to contact a local insurance agent in your area, and you want to explain to the agent everything you need. You want to explain the particulars of your step van business, the kind of loads you haul, the kind of clients you have, and then ask the agent what kind of insurance, what kind of step van insurance they have for you. But you got to have insurance. You need to have proper insurance. Okay. Again, when we talk about insurance, this is one of those things you say, well, I don't need insurance, or I don't need that much insurance. We've heard this a lot. I don't need that much insurance. Boss, all you need is one incident, one accident, one negative occurrence for your whole step van business to actually go to ruins. Do you want that? No. You're investing a lot. You are investing a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy into your step van business. It's important, therefore, to pay attention to those little things. Okay, so purchase the proper level of a step van insurance so that you are covered. Something were to happen, if you were to enter into relationships with Amazon, like you want to be part of the Amazon DSP program, for instance, or you want to be part of the Amazon Flex program, for instance, when they ask you a certain level of insurance, you're covered. You are covered. So this is really, really good. So think about that. Okay, think about that, boss. I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about Step van owner operator hacks for success. This is really important. The next thing I want you to really do is to lease or purchase a step van. See, the thing is that sometimes you probably, you want to be a step van owner operator. And the question is, do you have the proper vehicle? And sometimes you got to think about a step van as, let's say, your investment. Okay, this is actually the fulcrum of your business. So you got to constantly ask yourself, do I have the proper equipment? Do I have the proper vehicle? And sometimes, instead of buying a new van, you can probably just lease it. Yeah. Let's say you've tried to actually, you've tried a lot of things. You tried to get a loan or whatever, and nobody can approve you, maybe because you have bad credit or your situation, your financial situation right now is not really interesting. So a lot of step van lenders are not really interested in lending to you. Okay, that's fine. But you can lease a step van, right? So the thing is that I'm just talking to you about having the proper equipment. So if you want to if you want to fight on load boards and get the best loads, you got to have the proper equipment, because if a client were to assign a load to you and they realize that you don't have the proper equipment to haul that load appropriately, they're not going to come back to you. You know that. I know it, right? It's a one-time thing. People actually judge you with first impression counts. First impressions really count. So ask yourself, do I have lessors? Do I have leasing agencies? Do I have step van leasing agencies in my area so I can just lease a step van, right? So and those are possible. But the thing is, sometimes it takes training, it takes planning also, and you got to do those things in advance to say, okay, those are the step van leasing agencies I want to work with in my area, and I'm only going to work with them. Okay, so I'm not going to change anything at all. So you got to think about leasing or purchasing the proper step van for you. Now, when we talk about leasing, please, if you have any question, let us know in the comment section. We'll let you know based on your area. We'll let you know the best step van leasing agencies. But you also need to consider things like fuel efficiency, maintenance cost, and payload capacity when making your decision. That's why we always think that it's important to lease it as opposed to buying it, especially if you don't want to spend money in the short run. The next thing I want you to do here is to stay compliant with DOT regulations. So when we talk about US DOT, Department of Transportations, you got to be really compliant. Like, don't try to really play games with the federal government. This is not good for you. Like, again, we're trying to be in this business for a long haul. If you want to be a successful step van business owner operator for the long run, you have to abide by laws. And we're talking about federal regulations, but also state regulations. So when we talk about, the DOT regulations, we're speaking about state DOT and federal DOT, US DOT and state DOT. Okay, it's important to stay up to date, and I'm talking about all DOT regulations. And the cool thing is, the US DOT website is a good resource for information on regulations, all kinds of regulations. People think when we talk about the DOT regulations, they only apply to truckers. No, they apply to everybody who is in the delivery business, logistics business. Okay, cargo van drivers, step van drivers, sprinter van drivers, pickup van drivers, all kinds of drivers, box truck drivers. So you do have a constellation of stakeholders, of drivers who are interested in that. Okay, and so you want to comply with the regulations regarding hours of service, vehicle maintenance, and driver qualifications. This is important. Next thing I want you to do, if you want to be a successful step van owner operator over the long run, is to hire qualified drivers. Yeah. Because see, the thing is, you probably can be a solopreneur, like drive your thing. Like, you as an owner operator, you are a one man or one woman business. Yes, okay, you start today, but 1 year from now, 2 years from now, stuff will happen. Your business will grow. It's bound to happen. Don't listen to people telling you, well, the industry is shrinking, whatever, rates are going down. That's not true. You just have to know how to position yourself. That's all. You got to know how to position yourself. It's all about positioning yourself the proper way. In some quarters, they talk about having a niche. That's what it is. So you want to start thinking about hiring qualified drivers. So qualified drivers means what? It means that you are expanding your business. So instead of having one step van, now you have 2 step vans, you have 3 step vans, you have 5 step vans, you have 10 step vans. Before you know it, you have an entire fleet of step vans. That's where you start making money. See, that's where you start reaping the benefits that you have actually, the benefits of whatever you planted a few years ago when you actually passed your CDL, when you had your authority. That's what I was telling you earlier. You have to invest in the future. Really, really important. What I want you to do here is to keep your step van in good condition. See, your step van is actually the machine that brings in the revenue. Your step van is the machine that really brings you everything that you need to do. That brings you anything that really puts food on the table, right? Keep your step van in good condition. And the thing is that when we talk about keeping your step van in good condition, we're talking about performing regular maintenance, right? This includes checking the oil, tires, and brakes. You should also keep a log of all maintenance and repairs, because in some cases, for regulatory purposes, when federal regulators are asking those questions, they want to see a log, they want to see a track record, okay? And this is important. And when we talk about your step van, treat your step van as your sweetheart, because again, as I said, this is the machine that is bringing revenue in the business. I mean, we see some step van drivers driving like crazy. You know, they don't care about the van. No. Don't do this. If you want to be a successful step van owner operator for the long run, for the long haul, make sure that you take care of your little baby. Very important. And the next thing I want you to do here is that you want to stay organized and keep good records. Because as an owner operator, as a step van owner operator, you are responsible for everything related to your step van. This means what? You need to keep track of maintenance, paperwork, and other details. Okay. So staying organized will help you keep your business running smoothly. And that's what you want anyway. Because as I've said this to you from the beginning, if you want to be a step van, we know step van owner operators who are making half a million free and clear in this country every year, net income, $500,000 by driving only one van, boss, one step van. You're making $500,000. Imagine if you have a fleet of 3, 4, 5 step vans. You are basically making bank. But all of these things I'm telling you takes organization, takes time. You can't just start making money like from the get-go. You're going to start somewhere. And basically part of making money over the long run means you need to maintain a great reputation. Reputation is everything. It's everything. As an owner operator, your reputation is everything. Even if you have recently become an owner operator and have zero experience, make sure you always deliver on your promises and provide quality service. This will help you attract and retain customers, okay? So as a step van owner operator, you are in this for the long haul. It's all about making sure that you have the proper routine, the proper habits, and you are able to cultivate the right relationships. This will help you in the long run. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just giving you a few step van owner operator hacks for success. So, basically helping you understand how to actually make bank in the industry. So I actually, let's do a quick recap here. So I first define what an owner operator really is. And then I give you the steps to become a successful owner operator. Get your CDL, form a business. Okay. I spoke about filing a US DOT number. I spoke about actually getting your authority, not your trucking authority, but getting your step van authority, purchasing step van insurance, leasing or purchasing a van, staying compliant with DOT regulations, hiring qualified drivers, keeping your step van in good condition, and staying organized and keeping good records. And also finally, building a good reputation. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time, but until then, remember, stay marvelous.